examples from the European Union. You mentioned the European Union, the global Europe. Now we have a new strategy, that's Europe 2020. And in Europe 2020 it's very clear that the main international activities are to secure the international markets for Europe, because they want to come out of the crisis by securing the international markets for European goods. That's very clear. So, in history we had a long period, the ACP, Africa, Caribbean and Pacific States agreements. They were rather positive for the countries because they got privileged access with their goods to the European markets. This is over, and today it's the simple strategy is to negotiate the so-called European Partnership Agreements. And actually, there's going on the negotiation with Ecuador. And Ecuador, for some years, blocked the negotiations, but under the pressure, and this is something we have to learn, under the pressure of the big banana enterprises in Ecuador, the left government of Ecuador reopened the negotiations. And European Commission is very clear, we don't negotiate anything else than we negotiated with Colombia and Peru. So there are some threats for Ecuador, really, because they have in their constitution some limits for the entrance of international enterprises to Ecuador. But what I think is relevant, that in every country there are national big enterprises, there is existing capitalism in every country, and they want to have the access to and these kind of negotiations and treaties with the United States, with European Union, or with China. And the rights of the people and the rights of the small farmers, they are completely left out in all these kind of negotiations. Actually, the Mercosur is negotiating a European partnership agreement. You have to take attention on it really seriously, because Europe more and more is acting very aggressive in the trade policy. And so please keep care. And it's when the negotiations are. I followed the case of Central America. And we were in very close cooperation with our colleagues and comrades in El Salvador. And we tried to campaign in El Salvador against the European EPA. But it was too late. And even the Salvadorans accepted the Central American free trade agreement. So when it comes to negotiations and the governments are under pressure of the national capitalist groups, there is no chance to stop it, because it's the governments who negotiate it, and the European Union is not open for, let's say, democratic people's economy and so on. That has to be clear. And they only let in goods and that they need, but the countries have to open completely their markets for European goods and services. That's one of the very, let's say, in my point of view, European policy in the next years is much more aggressive in the trade sector than in every other sector. It's really a question. It became a question of the survival of the Union as it is.